Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back. Got the shrimp outrigger out here. All right, we're going to try to get a 75 mile an hour. Stop. Record. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, I'm gonna let these ripples cool down. I'm gonna come around that corner right there. Pretty hot, pretty hot. Oh, we crashed it. Son of a, we broke it. Oh, we broke it. Damn. Oh, we gotta replace the boom tube or something. Son of a gun. I don't care. Oh well. Damn. Oh, she's absolutely I knew I should have went home. Let's check the speed. Look at that. Oh well. I tell you what, boys, I've had some terrible luck here lately. I think that was 90. Woolrood builder, 81. Got 84 a while ago. $81 miles an hour. And we got a hole in the side. Got two holes in the side. Alright, so I feathered the inside of it out. Alright, the inside and the outside. The outside is feathered the same as the inside. I'll show you the outside in a minute. I cut a piece of this fiberglass cloth right here, and I'm gonna basically epoxy that in. Okay, I got the tape on the outside to kind of keep it from, you know, seeping out. So I got the fiberglass cloth laid in there. Okay, I actually did 2 layers in the area I feathered out. This is what the inside looked like before I epoxy and fiberglassed it. See how I feathered out around my bad area? So I get a lot of surface contact. That's how you fix a hole in wood. As you guys seen in the previous clip, I feathered around the bad area, okay? And like tapered it real nice so I have somewhere for my epoxy to set in. I basically did the same thing inside and out, so it basically locks itself in there, you know. And then I just took some fiberglass cloth and 30-minute Bob Smith Industry epoxy, and I basically cut about 5 of these, okay. And I started with the smallest piece, and then I worked it up a little bit larger, until I had a piece that fully covered the hole. And the biggest piece was the very last piece I laid. Okay, then I just waited for it to kick off, you know, completely cure out, and I sanded it flat. All right, did the same thing to this one. A couple little small pieces in there, and I feathered the inside of this one like I did this on the outside. I feathered it, tapered it, built it up, a couple pieces of cloth in there. Okay, basically the same thing right there. Actually turned out pretty good. So while I was doing it, since I'm adding a little bit of extra weight filling this hole in, I went ahead and sanded my whole boat down, because I really didn't thin out the epoxy when I sealed the wood. I basically just put epoxy on this boat. So I've actually went through and sanded everything down almost to the wood, just to kind of make it look nice. Okay, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna thin out some epoxy and just wipe it on there and wipe it off, basically, just to seal up the wood. So my sponsons, I got lucky with these. These were actually they were perfect. Nothing happened to those in the crash, you know. And I got some hollow boom tubes. Okay, should lighten up the boat a little bit. Since I added weight here, I decided to use hollow carbon fiber tubes opposed to the solid tube. Okay, so I've actually already got all this worked out. I actually had to add a little bit of epoxy here because it was kind of I drilled the hole out a little bit wonky, so I'm actually got it all straight. Okay, all I gotta do now is seal the wood and install my boom tubes. Hell, this is my third time doing this. Third time. Second outing with this boat, I crashed the boat. I had to replace all of this. This whole tip of this sponson was destroyed. Okay, and then the other day we destroyed the back of it, and this right here happened. Well, you guys seen. So my third rebuild on this boat. I'm actually going to go over my setup real quick, and might as well show you guys the final repair. Turned out pretty good. Okay, just used some primer and taped off a little design to cover up the holes, and it looks okay. Now I don't paint my riggers. I wish I would have never painted that one. The reason I don't paint them is because I modify the bottom. I'm always sanding and taking away, adding material or crashing my boat, and I don't paint them. If I crash it or have to make modifications, that means I have to touch up paint, and I just keep it wood. It's just simple, you know, plain Jane. If you guys want pretty boats, there's other channels. I build fast boats. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of my viewers are actually going to be dropping a 2968 and a Flycolor in this little boat, trying for speed. Okay, so some must-do modifications to the hull are building a hatch to accommodate the larger motor. That motor is not intended for this boat. The boat wasn't built for a large motor, I guess I should say. So you're going to need to build a hatch to accommodate the long can. Okay. Also, the wood motor mount that comes with the kit will not support the weight of that motor. Well, it will, but the first impact, it's going to pull the motor right out that wood, and you're going to have to replace the motor mount like I did. So when you build the boat, you may as well go carbon fiber, aluminum, or fiberglass motor mount. I got fiberglass. Kind of wish I would have went carbon fiber, but the fiberglass works. Okay, I actually reduced the angle the motor sits in the boat to fit the motor in the boat. Okay, with the hatch, it works out. Okay, as you can see, it's actually a tight setup. You see how my motor wires are bent at a 90 degree. I just bent them that way, and I keep them that way. I don't move them. All right, I know it's not good, but it's an 84-mile-an-hour boat, so it works. Okay, so I don't want to hear it. A lot of guys give me a hard time about putting hard bends in my wires, but that's really the only way I could get my battery in and out this boat, and my GPS in there, is just this hard. You know, it just works like this. As you can see, it's a tight setup, and I basically drop it in the boat just like this. My water cooling in goes in the ESC, out the ESC, in the back of the motor coil, and out the boat. Okay, so I was going to say you can't fit a water jacket in the boat with this motor, but Mark's Boat Works actually figured out a way to do it. So I'm running a coil. It works fine. The motor is actually really cool, and a water jacket will fit with the right hatch and motor angle. Okay, so if you're going to be running this motor, I actually recommend go ahead and getting an Eddy 4mm stub shaft 0.130 cable. Okay, you might as well. Well, you're going to have to upgrade the strut to do that, but it's kind of a must-do mod to run power and big props. Okay, the stock boat comes with an 1/8 stub shaft. The 4mm stub shaft allows you to run 4mm and 3/16 props with an adapter. Okay, so that's some must-do mods, and of course you guys know about the ski. Okay, so let's get it back together. So it basically drops in just how you guys seen it on the table. You got to run your RX wire first, plumb everything in, because you can't get to the cooling line on the bottom of the ESC. So you plumb everything in first, drop it in, double side tape your ESC down, Loctite the head screws, Loctite the grub screws on your coupler. Got my flex cable in, everything back here. It was on the money. It was ready to go. It's actually lighter than before I had the crash. Okay, so we're at 810 grams. So it's about 25 grams lighter than it was previous. Okay, believe it or not. Now, when I broke the boom tubes out, the first time, my first crash, when I had to repair the front of the boat, I epoxied my boom tubes in, and I went kind of crazy with the epoxy. Okay, so when I crashed it this time, I had to pull the boom tubes out. I took my Dremel. Okay, I got it all the way up here. Like, I had a bunch of built up epoxy up here, up under the boom tube where it settled down and dripped down. I grinded all that extra epoxy out. I had some right here, like up against the side of the hull on both sides. I grinded all that out. Okay, and like I said, whenever I did the repair, I sanded the whole tub down, almost to bare wood. I had a lot of built up epoxy from the previous repairs. Okay, so I removed a bunch of the extra epoxy, a bunch of extra weight, and we're about 25 grams lighter than before. I'm tickled to death. I figured I would throw that in there. You know, I'm super stoked about that. You know, super stoked. The repair came out great. Okay, and hopefully the boat will be a little bit faster with the lighter setup. You know, who knows? So I got my sponsons on. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to ask, Big B, why don't you just epoxy a brass tube or carbon fiber tube inside the tub, so when you break your boom tubes, you won't have to drill, grind, epoxy the boom tubes back into the boat. And the reason for not running the adjustable boom tubes is battery. Okay, if I were to put the larger carbon fiber tube or the brass tube inside my hull, I wouldn't be able to get those 4S batteries I'm running in my boat. It's already super tight as it is. With the larger tubes, I wouldn't be able to get it in the boat. So that's why I can run larger batteries if I epoxy the boom tubes straight into the tub. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt once we crash it, but it works. It's almost second nature to me now. I've got it down pat, and it works. Okay, so that's that. I have my sponsons taped, electrical taped onto the boom tubes. Okay, this is how I adjust the width of my sponson from the tub, the toe in, toe out on my tub. So I'm actually running a 5.5 inch width on my sponson from the tub. Okay, 5.5 inches to the inside of the tub on the left side. On my right side, I run my sponson closer at 5 1/8. 5 1/8 inch width. 5 1/8 in the back, and basically almost, well, it's basically almost an 1/8 inch toe in. Okay, so you can see here we got a little over 5 and exactly 5 1/8 at the back. Okay, so about an 1/8 inch toe in on my right, no toe in on the left. It's actually perfectly parallel to the tub. I'm really happy with the repair. It actually came out really good. You know, I don't like a whole lot of paint on my boats. I just did that to cover up the scars, you know. And yeah, if you have any questions, ask in the comments. I'll do my best to get to you. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Big B with Ironclad RC.